Hi guys, Veggie Gamer back, and we're back to League of Legends stuff. VEGGIEKNIGHTS, I hope you're all doing well. Loving returning to Runeterra stuff. I really am. I always find it so fascinating. I gotta admit, I am a couple of days late again, guys. I'm basically a couple of days late for everything at the moment. Because I've returned to doing movie reactions, obviously that takes up a lot of my week, you know? And so fitting in other stuff, I never know when to cover something, when to not do something, and League of Legends is the perfect example of that, guys. Like, if you go to their channel, certain things are called cinematics, but then they're not the epic cinematics that people react to and everything, and sometimes they're like still images and everything, and I never really know what to actually cover in reactions. But yesterday I was live streaming for the first time in ages, and someone said, hey Veggie, check out a Dark Gambit. Now this is less than 2 minutes long, guys, and so this to me looked like one of those, okay, we skip this one and go to the next one. But that being said, it has LeBlanc in the thumbnail, and she's fascinating to me. It may be a continuation of the scene that we saw at the end of. I always called it Bite Marks, but that's not what it's called, is it? Welcome to Noxus. There we go. Which would be very interesting. So presumably Vlad will be there as well. But yeah, I'm so sorry that I'm a bit late to this. Now, because I am late, guys, it means that we can do a 2-video reaction, because Necrit, in all his glory, has obviously covered this as well. He has turned a 1 minute 40-second video into a 13-minute video, I presume, break out, exactly as JT Kansan says there. It's not going to be quite that long. But yes, we will double this up. There is also another video on Necrit's channel that has been posted since, saying the Arcane fandom got confused. So I don't know if this is regarding a Dark Gambit or the previous reactions to again, I always call it Bite Marks. Welcome to Noxus. There we go. I'm actually interested to check that out. We might actually watch that. It's another 9 minutes, because yeah, I should really find out what the context is. But you know, I would say that to most people, Welcome to Noxus kinda did suggest that this is the way that the show's going. You know, obviously whatever's following Arcane, and also we have been promised a Noxus story, right? Anyway. That's irrelevant, guys. So, if you're new here, I'm Veggie. I've never played League of Legends in my life, but I got into the lore via Arcane. I'm one of those Burks. I know there's many of us out there. And so, really looking forward to meeting some new characters, maybe. But like I say, LeBlanc is in the thumbnail. And so, and also, ooh, move that out of the way. Very unprofessional. Also, apparently, I'm one of the only people who actually calls her by her name. Because apparently everyone else calls her LeBlanc. Each their own. Anyway, let's get into a Dark Gambit 2025 Season 1 cinematic. But it's not the kickoff or the anyway, it doesn't matter. League of Legends. Apparently it's worth checking out, so let's check it out. I apologise for the rambly intro there, guys. I'm actually feeling under the weather today, and so I want to get this out before I completely collapse. Dark Gambit 2025 Season 1 cinematic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. LeBlanc me. Not like that. Not like that. Yes, there he is, Vlad. And someone's mask going wild. Okay, this thing looks chaotic.
The first lands.
First lands?
But a doorway.
Yes, please.
Your prize.
Ionia.
Listen to your puppet, LeBlanc. Besides,
Puppet?
you have no host. And even if you did, the new Grand General would never approve another campaign in Ionia.
I have done your bidding. Release me.
Wow. Oh, no. Don't lick it. Thank you. Is she actually doing it? Oh my god! The chains.
Losing our host was an unfortunate turn. As for the might of Noxus, it won't be necessary.
Oh, Vlad's
A
ready.
single whisper can cut deeper than 1,000 blades.
Oh my god!
To Ionia, then.
Wow! Exciting. So I presume that means at least the next cinematic could be in Ionia, maybe. I kind of like it. This is playing straight off the last well, it's playing straight off Welcome to Noxus, isn't it? So for a second I thought that this was, I always forget his name, I'm sorry guys, I am very forgetful when it comes to names. And obviously, as I've never played the game, it is particularly difficult to remember them. I thought that maybe this helmet was the big bad under Noxus, you know, where it's, I don't think it is. It seems to be talking to this thing, maybe? So maybe this thing is the owner of the helmet? You know what? This is very difficult to predict, quite frankly. And so, I guess we let Necrit take over. I think it's the first time I've ever heard of Ionia being called the Old Lands, I think. So going on the Necrit thumbnail, this one, the Arcane fan got confused. Maybe people thought that maybe the next show is going to be in Ionia, which I would personally prefer, I must admit. My ideal would be Demacia, just because I would love... I'd like the Lux story, quite frankly, guys, because what I gather, it's really good, and it's all about prejudice and everything. And I think it's always very important to do in TV shows and everything, but I think that could be done really well, because, you know, they're like, you know, how can I word this? You know, they're like quite a glorious, good guy bunch, but they're also incredibly judgmental and everything. I find that sort of thing fascinating. I'm not against Noxus. But going on Welcome to Noxus, the cinematic, I did think it's going to be a lot more serious than Arcane. A lot darker and serious. Whereas Ionia has a lot of wacky characters. Everyone has wacky characters, guys. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And so I guess now we move over to Necrit's video, and I want to know what this dude is, because it's obviously not the big bad. I always forget his blooming name. I'm going to look up his name real quick, and then we'll get over to Necrit's video. Mordekaiser, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously not Mordekaiser, because Mordekaiser is in a different reality, and if they were there, then they would F everyone else, wouldn't they, from what I gather? But yeah, I always forget his name. Also, it'd be nice to see Swain. I've seen still images of Swain, but because they were talking about like the previous general or something. Then I'm very interested to hear who that is, because that's not Mbessa, is it? Because Mbessa was just a house leader, wasn't she? I think you guys have been telling me. That is a great top, Necrit. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Always love Necrit's video. Thank you, Necrit, I should say, guys, because he's put out a video before about reactors and everything, and how he's okay with doing with people doing reactions to his videos, even people who get more views than his videos do. You're a good guy, Necrit. I mean, you're clearly a good guy, and you know your stuff as well. So let's get into it, guys. Necrit news, League's new cinematic explained. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know, I could really turn this into half-an-hour-long video if I wanted to, but I value your time, so I'm only gonna increase it tenfold. So, let's all be honest here. Riot cooked. It doesn't matter if you are a fan of League of Legends. It doesn't matter if you are a fan of Arcane. That cinematic was great.
Short, but it was definitely intense.
What's cooler, the fact that we are constantly getting high-quality cinematics, or the fact that this is Fortige who is doing this? Meaning that all of this is aligning with Arcane. And let me tell you, you really think we are not gonna connect this to Arcane? Because even though we are taking a cinematic that is a bit less than 2 minutes long, the truth is, this cinematic is just one big tease.
It really is.
A tease for the next season. As well as possibly a tease for the next champion. And so, you know what, let's just get into all of that.
Oh, is this a new character?
It begins with Atakan's helmet on a pedestal. But you can already see that it is missing Mordekaiser's runes, which were previously present in the comics. And that is of course because with Mordekaiser being gone, or at least banished for now, LeBlanc took the item that bound this demon, that being the helmet, and she bound it to her own will.
It is his helmet!
That is what all the black goop is about. Atakan is still technically bound to the helmet. It is just LeBlanc who owns it now.
Arcane.
Now, the chances are that a lot of people watching this video will not have the context of all the other lore we covered. So let me quickly bring you up to speed. You see, from the very first cinematic we got right after Arcane for the beginning of the Noxian season, there was a whole new storyline that started developing. If you go back to that first cinematic, you can see that LeBlanc is looking at something powerful on a wall.
It's Thingy-Bobby's sword.
At that time, we had no idea what that was, and so to
Big
us,
demon
it was
dude.
just a symbol. After this, Mordekaiser's comic was released, where we learned about the lore of Arcane, a creature that was created through the fusion of Mordekaiser's best friend and a demon.
Oh.
After Mordekaiser died, and then was resurrected, and then he died again, the demon fell into the hands of LeBlanc. Which is where, at the end of that comic, we learned that LeBlanc decided to unleash the demon from the helmet, so it could roam the land and sate its hunger. After which, the Demon's Hand minigame was released in League of Legends, which really told us what happened here.
Wow.
You see, in reality, LeBlanc never freed the demon. The demon was always in the pale room which we've seen in the cinematic.
Pale
It was all just
room.
an illusion in the demon's head. And LeBlanc did all of this because she wanted to evoke the demon's memories.
Like,
Through these memories, she could learn more about
Mel.
Mordekaiser's fall. She could learn more about the dark magic Mordekaiser was studying. She could even learn about the magical process of binding people to items and demons. But mainly, she wanted to evoke the demon's memories to suppress the human side. Because again, as a reminder, Arcane is the merging of Mordekaiser's general and a demon. And with only the demon remaining, there would be no confusion with the memories, and so LeBlanc could get the demon's knowledge. With that, she could learn where the powerful item she was after was hiding, and so after unleashing Arcane at the very end of the minigame, we learned that the powerful item was indeed a Darkin, and we learned that it was hidden in Ionia. And that is what brings us to this cinematic.
Oh,
LeBlanc
so it's
just
not the big
managed to
demon
break
dude.
Arcane from Mordekaiser's shackles, and she bound it to the Black Rose. And now, the story is about to continue. It begins with the amazing reveal of Arcane being rendered by Fortige. And oh boy, does it look great.
Intense.
And if you are wondering why Arcane has human hands, it's not because he would be trying to mimic humans like other demons who lure them. Instead, in this case, it's because those hands actually belong to Katashli, who used to be Mordekaiser's general. But then, when Arcane steps back from the wall, the shot reveals the Darkin. Now first, during this shot, you can see all of those pink petals flying in. Where are they coming from? We don't know. We are dealing
Ionia
with
reference.
Arcane and LeBlanc and a whole bunch of illusions, so
presume it's an-
anywhere really. But the point
Ionia
is,
reference.
of course, pink petals are related to Ionia. We can pick and choose specific scenes where they were used,
Hey,
including
Sigurd!
spirits and stuff. But more importantly, again, it is Fortige, so this is full of details. So in this case, the pink petals are a massive contrast to the classic black rose petals which LeBlanc usually has around her. Now, when it comes to the image on the wall, you can see that the Darkin already looks slightly different. Before, in the first cinematic, in order for Riot to keep it more of a mystery, it was more vague. But now,
It looked
the
like that
image has
other
a
living
proper
sword
shape.
thing.
And so now we know that the Darkin, who is very likely gonna be the next champion, is a glaive. Which is something we mostly know about because Riot accidentally teased this on their social media. And
don't know what glaive
Xavier
is.
then steps into the debate. And he calls the location the First Lands. This is a really cool nod towards League's lore, because the First Lands is a very archaic word for Ionia, with the cool detail here being that Vladimir is old. It makes sense that he would be using old terms. But after this, LeBlanc, actually calling it Ionia, mentioned that it was just a doorway, after which Arcane teased her to come and claim her prize in his world. Now all of this is actually tied together, because this is all referencing what
cool.
Ionia is really about.
They're
With
very cool.
Ionia being a continent that is heavily connected with spirits.
We've met
This
him.
is why these lands are full of the Arcana,
Pokemon.
who are the good demons, or the Azakana, who are the lesser bad demons. And so it is likely that this is what Arcane is referencing here. Ionia is absolutely a land filled with similar beings, including something like Nocturne. And that is where
Nocturne?
the cinematic may get a bit confusing.
Down Nocturne Alley.
Because apparently there was miscommunication with translation. You see, Vladimir mentions that LeBlanc should be listening to her puppet, likely mentioning Atakan, but he adds that she has no host. Now, a host can have two meanings. A host, as in a body for a Darkin, because remember, the Darkin are the twisted souls of the Ascended who were...
Okay, so that's another Darkin.
And they
Okay,
can be unleashed
right.
when someone picks up the
Good.
weapon. After
Good.
which the Darkin dominate their bodies. So in other words, the wielder becomes the host.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
For example, in the case of some
This is the guy he's talking
we are
about.
not really looking at
Aatrox,
the
thank
Darkin.
you.
We are looking at the host, which is a twisted human being which picked up the blade.
Thank
But
you.
The thing is that a host can also be a war host. Because remember, during the invasion of Ionia, LeBlanc actually had quite a few squads in Ionia. For example, let's not forget the Sisterhood of War. On top of this, during the invasion of Ionia, the Grand General of Noxus was Borem Darkwill, who was manipulated by LeBlanc like a puppet. So during his reign, LeBlanc essentially owned the entire Noxian army. The problem is then that when this cinematic was translated into different languages, some languages used host as in a body, and other languages called it a war host. So now we're not exactly sure which one this is. So I'm gonna assume that it is actually talking about a body. As
someone's getting
host
fired.
For a Darkin.
Yes, that's what I assume, yes.
This cinematic, that would make sense. Although there is another thing that could be mentioned. In the latest story which LeBlanc got, and I know, it's crazy, we actually got a new story. It was revealed that LeBlanc's clones are fully sentient. They are also spread across the entire world, with the coolest part being that they all believe that they are the real LeBlanc. So
that's cool!
Now, Vladimir could be talking about the fact that LeBlanc doesn't have a host as
she may not be real
in Ionia, but I don't think that's the case. Sure, the news story revealed that she had a clone in Ionia watching over Syndra, but after Syndra was unleashed, we can assume that clone was lost, but I doubt she wouldn't have another one around. So, to tie everything
the one in Arcane, presumably,
Vladimir
is one of them.
is reminding LeBlanc that she doesn't have a body that could become a host for the Darkin, after which he just casually drops a big lore bomb. Because he also mentions that the new Grand General would not approve another campaign in Ionia. This is big, because it actually puts on some timeline for Arcane. So now we know that the Ionian invasion concluded just as Arcane finished. So I guess Singed didn't really make weapons for Noxus. Which also means that the Noxian invasion of Ionia likely happened during the first act of Arcane. And so after Arcane was done, Swain came back from the invasion of Ionia, he killed Borem Darkwill, and now Swain is the new leader of Noxus.
Right!
In the present days, Noxus is supposed to be led by 3 people, that being Swain, Darius, and a mysterious figure. But even within this context, Swain would still be called the Grand General. So we are not sure if the leadership of Triforix was already established. Anyway, continuing on. Atakan starts to get restless, he did all of LeBlanc's bidding and now he wants to be unleashed. Which is where LeBlanc starts whispering something to the demon. And for the most part, we can just
swearing
what that is. Because Atakan goes frenzy, we can assume that she teased him that she might release him after the entire task is done, so that after 1,000 years he can finally feast. Or maybe she just mocked him by whispering his real name. Because in the universe of League of Legends, if you know a demon's real name, you can completely dominate it with incantations. Unless she whispered that Atakan is gonna be the next host to the Darkin. That would be wild. Also, a cool detail here is that you can notice the black goop going from the helmet to Atakan. Once again referencing that he is still bound to the helmet. Also, the scene with the chains is indeed a reference to the emote you can get in the game. Now, next, LeBlanc also mentions that losing her host was an unfortunate turn. So, LeBlanc likely had someone who was under her control who was planned to be the next host for the Darkin. The curious thing is that she is talking about all of this after Vladimir talked about the Grand General. So maybe LeBlanc is talking about her losing Borem Darkwill? So it's possible she also wanted to use him for the Darkin, but then she also mentioned the might of Noxus, which is Darius. And this is where things get really confusing, because again, they are talking about all of this in the context of just talking about the Grand General not approving another campaign in Ionia. So they are almost talking about it as if Darius was the leader of Noxus. Now, it still should be Swain. Swain has the title of the Grand General. But if the Triforix is already established, then sure, Darius is one of the 3 leaders. The confusing thing is that technically they would call Darius the Grand General, which he's not. And so if this is not what they are referencing, then I have no idea why they are bringing up Darius. Though they are bringing him up for one reason. The big point is that LeBlanc wants to go back into Ionia directly through Darius. She likely wants to manipulate him through whispers, as was hinted here, to launch another campaign in Ionia. And we know she's capable of this because in the latest story, it was teased that during the cinematic where Darius was fighting Trundle, one of LeBlanc's clones was hiding in the Warhost. So she's already spying on Darius, and so the likelihood is she can manipulate him.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Out, it is funny to see how Vladimir is respecting the demon, and he's constantly ready to fight it. But eventually he also agrees to Ionia then. Which pretty much confirms that indeed, the next League of Legends season is gonna be in Ionia. And we are going there because
Post-war.
LeBlanc wants to find a Dark in there.
Or attack.
And we are likely gonna go there because Darius is gonna launch another campaign into Ionia. And best of all, we learned about all of this from an animation that was made by Fortiche. And there
In a
you have
minute and
it,
a
the newest
minute
League of
40
Legends
seconds.
Cinematic explained. I'll be honest, it is wild to see League of Legends lore being so good again. We've been waiting for this for 2 years.
That's nice.
And now, in a hilarious twist, the lore community is eating the best. And so, hopefully, I fulfilled my duty with this video.
Absolute. That was excellent. I do have a lot of questions, but that definitely filled me in a lot. So I'm pretty certain this is the first time I've ever heard of Arcane, isn't it? I think that was the name. I didn't turn subtitles on, guys, because they're auto-generated, and so it'd just be I'd be writing down all the wrong stuff, you know. But the Darkin, this is so interesting. So I didn't say it in my reaction to Welcome to Noxus, but perfect click there, Veggie. But when it showed this symbol right at the end, I did think, oh, Soul Edge, which is what I called Sorte as. That, come on, you wrote it down, Veggie. You always forget his name. Aatrox. Aatrox has, which obviously we saw Aatrox in, which one was it? It was, the one with, the one with Ash showing up at the end. It was blooming amazing. Yeah, I did actually think that that's what the symbol was, but it seems like it's another one of those, which makes complete sense. And so when I was saying earlier on about like the big demon dude and going like that, I meant Aatrox and one of the Darken. So I need to do a deep dive into Aatrox, because it seems like he does connect a lot of things, and he seems like an amazing character. When it was like looking for the host and like Vlad said you don't have a host or you lost your host or something like that, I thought he meant Mel. Maybe that's what, after getting rid of Mbessa, was Mel's next role in it, because we know that Mel's coming for Mbessa, guys. I mean, you know, at least that's what we can presume from the friggin' amazing Welcome to Noctis trailer. And so that's what I thought, but it seems, I mean, I don't know, guys. That's where my mind went initially. Whereas it could be, was it Darkwill? No, Darkwill's dead, isn't he? Yes. So the invasion of Ionia, I thought had happened long ago, guys. So but it sounds like it may have happened during Arcane Season 1, which is kind of wild. Pardon me. And for what you guys have filled me in, it was a very bad situation. I think that was Riven that we saw briefly, wasn't it? The only League of Legends character that I knew of before starting Arcane, guys, because one of my favourite video games is called Riven. And so whenever I'd look up Riven, it would show this League of Legends character, and I think, who the hell's that? So, yeah. Although Awaken is my favourite cinematic still. It just is, guys. I absolutely love it. There are still some older ones which I haven't checked out. But Awaken is still my number one. So I'm guessing that's maybe this Arcane video. Maybe we should check that out now. We'll check it out now. Maybe this Arcane video is people thinking, oh, it means that the new show is going to be in Ionia. Like, Noxus, going to Ionia again. That would be a lot to introduce 2 cities at once, guys. At least with Arcane, you had like a couple of Noxians in there, but whereas having, a whole, I mean, it'd be impressive, but... Well, let's watch it. It's only 9 minutes long, and we may as well make this a bit of a chunkier video, because it's the first League video I've done in a while. I like this guy's eyebrows. Let's check out the Arcane fandom got confused. Which, to be fair, I'm a little bit defensive of that, because I'm one of those Arcane bucks, like I say, getting into Arcane, getting into League via Arcane. I don't think it's a stretch to suggest that this is where the next show is going, but let's find out. Okay, guys, so Arcane fandom got confused by Necrit. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Like I say, guys, I'm a bit under the weather right now. You know those sneezes which just cancel itself, and then it's just really, really painful there. That's why I got tears in my eyes now. So emotional. Arcane fandom got confused. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, so we're getting another cinematic while I am gone on a 3-day break.
Oh?
So I will have to cover it 2 days after it releases.
That's today! That's today!
My workaholism is gonna explode. So the chances are Riot is releasing another cinematic today, as I'm releasing this video.
Great,
fact,
and I'm recording.
I released this like an hour earlier, while I'm gone. But it is what it is, and so today we are not really gonna talk about what might be happening there, because what's the point since it is out now, I guess.
That is Ionia.
We are heading into Ionia. It is gonna be a music video. I'm gonna expect vibes similar to Yone's cinematic, which we got back in the day. But that's also for a very special reason. It's because while the last cinematic got a lot of hype behind it, because it was made by Fortiche, who of course also made Arcane, this cinematic will be made by a totally different studio. And I'm gonna guess it is gonna be more 2D anime style. Especially because we can see the tags on this video, and indeed there is League anime. But here's the thing, most people don't know this. Most people believe that we are getting more and more Arcane-styled cinematics.
Oh yeah, no, look
and
at
that
the kite.
stems from something
That's 2D.
really funny that plagued the last cinematic we just got. You see, very quickly after that cinematic released, it got outside of just the general League of Legends audience.
As it would.
It quickly arrived in front of the general Arcane audience. And as it happens to be, that started a bit of a fire. But for that, a bit of context.
God. Blooming League, guys!
A bigger, broader audience. One
I love that
comes
scene
from
so much.
outside of just video games. For
Jinx
some
is my
reason,
favourite, guys.
the new Arcane fandom got crazy dedicated to the show. This was already the case with Arcane 1, but Arcane 2 especially underlined some of the craziness. And while all of that is going on, every time the League of Legends audience has to interact with these people, they feel physical pain. And I kinda know where that is coming from. Now, first of all, let me say, if you are super hyped about something, even to a crazy degree, as long as you are not hurting anyone,
oh, of course, yes.
you can be as crazy as you want. Though I'm
a wrestling fan, guys.
In the case of Arcane specifically, that craziness is bringing in numbers. It feels like it doesn't matter what Arcane does. Anytime anything happens around it, it blows up. I've heard some people mocking Arcane that after it was over, it just died and nobody was ever talking about it again. Well, that might be happening around your circle specifically, because around the Arcane fandom, things are still blowing up. Somehow, the Arcane Reddit is still active and they are constantly getting thousands of upvotes. Anytime anyone posts anything about Caitlyn and Vi, it is guaranteed to be a bomb. And of course, that also definitely goes for Time Bomb. In fact, very recently,
I haven't seen this.
Again, Riot uploaded their music video on their YouTube, which, by the way, that is the 3rd time they have officially uploaded that song. But this time, Fortiche also gave it a cool video clip. And guess what?
I haven't seen that, actually.
That one got 15 million views in 3 weeks, half a year after Arcane was done. And so to this day, the
Half a
Arcane
year,
fandom
jeez.
is going strong. But the problem is that sometimes they can be a bit demanding. It all began when we got the first Noxian cinematic. There, people already got mad that there is no Jinx. What is this? Oh, there is Mel. Oh, this is a
Cool,
setup
welcome
for
to
a
Noxus.
Noxian show, isn't it? Oh, it's very cool that we are getting a Noxian show.
I thought that was
That kind of
confirmed.
mentality is pretty much present to this day. Because you see, 2 days ago, when
I
we
thought it was
got the
confirmed. I
Gambit
thought you guys
cinematic,
told me it was.
on YouTube, it is cool to see that people logically connected this to League of Legends. Here, people are engaging with the lore, they are interested in LeBlanc, they are theorizing about Arcane, and in general, they are excited to see what League is gonna do with Ionia. But that's all on YouTube, where the cinematic was posted by the official League of Legends account. In other words, it's the video game. But then they also posted the cinematic on their other social media. Now, as always, Twitter is a bit of a mixed bag. You never know what kind of a crazy person you get. But on Instagram, oh boy, Instagram is full of just everyday people who try to make themselves look better, with the filters not always working. And so when this cinematic also came out on Instagram, it was cross-posted with Fortige, which of course is followed by people who watch Arcane.
It's not massively,
People
is it?
who play League. And so you can begin to guess that when this cinematic dropped here, the general Arcane audience got confused. Because they thought it was a new season for a Netflix show. And the comments were hilarious. No way this doesn't become the next Arcane. It's already been confirmed.
I thought it had!
Where are they getting these confirmations? Are there
I
like
thought it had!
something that I should be covering? What is
Yeah,
this?
if he doesn't know, that's bad.
When will it be on Netflix? Will Riot
Yeah.
Games ever make movie on Arcane? It was good as series, but I think it could do way better for a movie. Brother, do you not realize that Arcane was 4 times the size of a movie? Is there gonna be Twitch drops for this too, like Arcane? I like how there are no confirmations that we are getting a Noxian show. By the way, we don't even have a confirmation that Fortige is working on something directly. All we know is that
really?
we're getting more cinematics, not a show. And people
I
are
thought we were
already
getting a new show.
concerned with the possible Twitch drops that we might be getting. Is that
I don't know what a Twitch drop is.
My soul hurts. Is that
What?
Lord? My soul hurts. Is it a Darkin? Hey, at least the theme is close.
Close!
Arcane's gonna be peak. Man, I can't wait for this next show. It looks like it can be better than Arcane. This isn't for the new show, though. It is, actually. They literally reworked LeBlanc and next Vlad, because this is how they designed them in the next series. And also, they added Mel and skin for past Mordekaiser when he was alive. They did that for a reason. See what I mean when I say that the Arcane fandom can be demanding? I don't
know if demanding-
comments about Jinx yet. Oh, they are definitely testing for a new series. Where can I watch it? It's coming out this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah, someone blooming
Where are
clearly
we
trolling
getting
here.
these confirmations?
Someone clearly
There has
trolling
to be a
here.
leaker or something, right? Please, where can I download season 1? I mean the game. Someone please stop him. He has no idea what he's getting into. Bring back time bomb. Oh, there's the Jinx comment. I want to dedicate my trailer.
Wait,
Really? If you're gonna make a show about Jonia, give me Rakan. Yes, sure, the main character of Ionia, Rakan, who has only ever really been a moral support for Xayah. But to be fair,
don't know who
Xayah could
Rakan
be
is.
used as a main character against Zed. But after that, there is my
there's Zed.
favorite comment of all. They didn't go full 3D style because they knew they would be judged and compared with Chinese 3D animation and outstanding 3D game graphics. KDA World Cup shows that they had the potential to do amazing, but they picked completely different style. This one stinks. KDA World Cup? Is this the KDA World Cup you are talking about? Is this the quality
Oh my
you are
goodness,
bringing
PlayStation
up?
1.
Is this really what you're making me remember? Also,
I've
love
never
they
said
are
that
bringing up
before.
superior 3D animations. Because yes, I remember when that studio did the Vladimir cinematic for Wild Rift.
Oh,
the one
cool.
where they used stock sound effects, which didn't fit. That is, if they ever decided to use them. But that's my little rant about the funny reaction that the general audience had to the latest cinematic. Of course, as you are watching this, there's gonna be a whole new cinematic that will be out. And so who knows what the reaction is gonna be to that one. At the very least, it is not made by Fortiche, so the general Arcane audience...
It's definitely going to be 2D, you can tell.
...might not engage. And so what are you doing here? That cinematic is out. Get out there and...
Not yet.
Enjoy Ionia. There's not gonna be much to enjoy in Ionia, right? It's getting invaded again, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not out already, is it? This video, I'm not going to make this a 4-video video, am I? Okay, it's not out yet. I don't think. Because obviously that said 5 o'clock in Necrit's time. So let's have a look at what time that's going to be mine. Oh, it's not there. Oh yeah, there we go. It's going to be 4 o'clock. So that's in 4 hours from when I'm recording this. I mean, the thing is, guys, like I say, I don't know which trailers to go. I don't want to cover everything because they put out a lot, guys, you know. I must admit, I did drop the bomb, ironically, on, Time Bomb, you called it, right? Or something like that. The video isn't actually called that. But, I haven't seen that. Like I say, guys, I've been behind on everything. I think that one just completely slipped me by. I mean, you know how much I love Jinx, guys. She's my favourite character in Arcane. If I were to play if I was to play League or any other League, like the fighting games, stuff like that, I would be a Jinx main, I think. I don't know if you really have mains in League, do you? I'm not sure. But I also want to play as Camille. I've always loved her since Awaken. I was really hoping she was going to show up in Arcane. People essentially confirmed, that's the wrong word to use here, isn't it? That her family is there in the second season, but yeah. This is, the thing is, guys, actually, I'll put a word like this. League of Legends is kind of notorious for its fan base, isn't it? So whenever anyone watches Arcane for the first time, especially a gamer like me, it's natural to say, "Oh, I want to check out the game once I'm finished with this." And like everyone in the comments, like, "No, don't do that," because you know the fans. The fan base is known as being quite demanding, to put it in a way. Whereas I think, just because I'm a implement Arcane mark, I had to defend it. Defend us, I should say. I can see a logical step between Welcome to Noxus and Arcane. Because the Arcane trailers are on the League of Legends account, aren't they? They're not on like a separate Arcane account. Yes, they are. And so I don't think it... I mean, the thing is, at no point does it say Arcane. And personally, guys, I do think the next season is going to be called Arcane. I just feel like it's going to be called Arcane something. Because it's all to do with Arcane. The Darkin is something to do with Arcane, right? Or is that the wrong term? I'm not sure. So just to give us a little bit of advance, I feel like there is reason to, you know, do the meme of the guy with the charts and everything, with the red lines and everything. That being said, I reckon some of those comments were trolls. Some of them I feel like were. That being said, though, I swear I've heard several people say, and in my head I'm even thinking Necrit, but clearly not, that another show in Runeterra had been confirmed. And some people have confirmed it as being Noxus next. Which we've discussed in previous videos. But if Necrit heard that, then it clearly ain't true. I'm not against them not making another show. I'm actually not. I would like them to make another show. They definitely shouldn't carry on Piltover's story, because that's now complete. There's no more story to be told. Because I showed my brother, who still hasn't watched Arcane. I don't think he's ever going to watch Arcane. I've been badgering him for the longest time to watch it. I showed him the Chinese version of the last scene from Season 2. which when I saw the thumbnail, guys, I thought was a joke, but apparently it's actually legit. And I had to explain, because he's like one of these people that says, if it's going to be a really long show, he doesn't want to get into it. And I say, no, it is only 2 seasons. But then Caitlin says, are you still in this fight, Violet? And I had to explain, their fight is definitely over now. For one, they don't have any blowing weapons left. Well, they have weapons, but they don't, you know. I think it'd be such a mistake to continue Kate and Vi's storyline. And I completely understand certain fan bases, including myself, really wanting it. But I feel like that ending was so perfect. I do, guys. And I watch a lot of YouTube reactions for Arcane, guys. They got me through a very, very dark time. If you don't know the timeline on my channel, when I reacted to Arcane, I was going through a very, very bad time. Hence why my episode 3 reaction to season 1 is a bit big. And I know that some reactors who I absolutely loved their entire series were sort of like felt like bereft by the end of it, because the last episode, whereas I thought it was just so freaking perfect, you know. And all signs to me point towards Jinx still being alive, but getting out of there. She's breaking the cycle. I love watching Arcane reactions, guys. I really do. I really do. And yeah. But I know that a lot of people were kind of down on, like, you know, just really just gutted at the end of it. And you know, the show tries to make you feel gutted with the imagery and the music and everything, but there is definitely hope and everything. And yeah, I thought it was such a good ending. And I'm fine with leaving it at. If they are going to do another story, I want it to have nothing. I know Mel's on her way to Noxus, but ideally I'd like it to be a whole brand new bunch of characters, you know? Completely separate for everything, which is why I feel like Demacia would be absolutely amazing. Do the Lux story, you know? The whole thing of her having to hide her magicalness. Maybe it can end, like the end of the first season can be the big fight in... It's not Ford, is it? Fjord. I can never remember. I can never remember its blooming name. Which is in the Warriors video. But then again, Veggie, those are not canon to the same story. Ignore me. I'm waffling. This has been a long video, guys, but I thought I would cover all 3 videos because they were all related to each other. But now apparently there's another cinematic. If you're watching this, I'm going to post this as soon as, well, not as soon as I can, but a little bit later. But before the other one comes out, should I jump on top of the other one, or is it going to be one of those you can skip it kind of ones? Because the thing is, guys, is that obviously at the moment, most people on my channel are waiting for my Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 reaction. Which is an amazing movie, guys. Talking about a series ending in a powerful way. So, I like to space things out, you know, and everything. So, posting back-to-back themed videos, I'm fine to do it, but as long as it's, just let me know. Okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. There we go. Let's just put it like that. So, if you guys could tell me if it is going to be worth checking out, then sure, I'll post 2 League of Legends videos in one day. Why not? Although I do want to go. No, we can still. Okay, I'm thinking about going for a fancy walk with Booze, which is my dog. Right, shut up. This video's been too long. Necrit, thank you so much for your incredibly positive approach to people reacting to your videos. Obviously, this isn't going to be one of the ones which is going to get more views than his, but I thoroughly enjoy his videos, guys. He seems like a lovely chap, and he has such a great way of explaining. Even when he says names which I've never heard before, I can still get the gist of who they are because of the way he describes them. But that being said, the videos are actually made for people who know a relative amount about League, and so it's an incredible balance that he can make something which is thoroughly entertaining to someone like me who's brand new to half these characters, but still be the icon who's nearly got 1 million subscribers. Quite frankly, guys, in fact, I'm not blooming subscribed to him. That is a disgrace. There we go. Subscribe. So we're one step closer to 1 million. Sorry, Necrit, I should have subscribed to you ages ago. But yeah, I really appreciate his approach, because he posted, like I say, he posted a video about YouTube reactors and everything, and I highly recommend watching the video. But the crux of it is it's fine. You know, it's really cool with them. So yes, thank you so much for watching, guys. long outro. I need to shut up. Please subscribe all again stuff. I'm a Veggie Gamer. He's been Necrit. She's been LeBlanc. Or LeBlanc, apparently. Even Necrit's gone. So maybe she is LeBlanc. It looks like LeBlanc to me. LeBlanc. Anyway, who cares? Please subscribe all again stuff. I'm a Veggie Gamer, and I'll see you next time.